Hello and welcome to AdaPulse, the channel that brings you all the news and all the proposals that are in and around the Cardano ecosystem. Now, before we go on, please do remember to click the like button, hit subscribe and hit that bell button to get notified as soon as we have some content available. And leave a comment below. We really want to hear what you guys are thinking. It helps with our metrics and we'd love to interact with you guys. Now, do remember you can further support us by delegating your ADA to either Swag, Zod or myself, ATM. Now, today the discussion is the Obscurantism of Tether, and as always can be found on the AdaPulse website, and is a piece by LIBERLION, who's one of the writers for the AdaPulse team. So we're going to dive into Tether today. I'm Josh from ATM. Let's crack on with this. The stablecoin that everyone knows with the highest daily crypto transaction volume has a very shady origin. Now, investors can use Tether, or UST as it's known, with the T symbol with the two diagonal lines going through it. They use Tether to buy other cryptocurrencies, so they don't have to withdraw money into fiat dollars, basically. This gets rid of loads of unnecessary exchange fees, any issues with taxes, and it's probably one of the main driving forces behind the volume of money that's flowing into the whole cryptocurrency market. Now, Tether is traded as a stable coin, which means it's pegged to the price of an underlying asset at all times. Stablecoins can be pegged to any kind of asset and are handy because there's no volatility, which makes them a good unit of measurement for gains in a crypto trading market, you know, with high volatility. And it's tokenizing the underlying currency, so a lot of the regulations in the fiat world don't apply. USDT is a token accepted on various exchanges such as Bitfinex, Binance, Bittrex, Kraken, Coinbase, KuCoin, Poloniex, and a shitload of others, basically. But also built on different blockchains, including Algorand, Bitcoin Cash's Simple Ledger Protocol, Ethereum, EOS, Liquid, Network, Omni, Tron, and Solana, which act as transport protocols consisting of open source software that interacts with blockchains to enable the issuance and redemption of Tether tokens. Now, Tether is pegged to the US dollar, so $1 equals 1 Tether. You can't really get simpler maths than that. Tether also has Euro and Yuan peg stablecoins, although the USD peg stablecoin is easily the most. Tether has actually also launched a Mexican-based peso stablecoin, so that's interesting. Even if you have no funds in Tether or you have never used it, you're still exposed to the consequences of a Tether implosion. This is because it is literally the central nervous system of liquidity in the crypto markets. It is the largest broker by trading volume, even when you can compare it to Bitcoin. As you can see here, today's Tether 24-hour trading volume is over $46 million. That's nearly double Bitcoin's volume. If this asset were to unpeg or disappear, the entire crypto market would fall apart in an instant. In fact, two events occurred in 2017. As you can see here, on the 1st of February, it lost parity of 15% below the dollar, and then overvalued by 21% on May the 26th. But the dominance of Tether at that time was a lot less, and also the market was a lot smaller than it is today. The shadowy history of Tether. The shady creations of Tether begin with its founding team, who first created the Bitfinex exchange and later created the USDT stablecoin. Bitfinex handles a daily volume of $270 million as of May 22, and Binance, the largest crypto exchange, nearly 13 billion according to CoinMarketCap. So let's start with the founding of Bitfinex. So launched in beta testing in October 2012, Bitfinex got off to a rocky start. The exchange started as a derivative of an exchange code Bitcoinica. At the time, Bitcoin developer Amir Taki, a contributor to the dark wallet and Open Bazaar, leaked Bitcoinica's source code after being hired as a security consultant, causing thousands of Bitcoin to be lost to the theft of funds from the MTGOX exchange fiasco, since the source code contained the API key. Bitfinex, owned and operated by iFinex Inc., registered in the British Virgin Islands and was founded in May 2013 by Raphael Nicole, their former CTO, who was a help desk technician before running Bitfinex, spending most of his time exploring Bitcoin Talk. There's a popular forum for Bitcoiners. Before founding Bitfinex, Raphael lost a large portion of his Bitcoin holdings in the Trend on Shavers Ponzi scheme that was brought down by the Department of Justice. After this, he tried to start on his own high-yield loan program at 2% a week. After receiving little to no interest in this program, which obviously looked like a Ponzi scheme, he decided to start Bitfinex. Then, Giancarlo De Fassini, now CFO of Bitfinex and Tether, quickly joined Bitfinex. Just a bit of background, in 1996, De Fassini was arrested for selling pirated Microsoft software and was ordered to pay $65,000 in fines. The next to join Bitfinex was Phil G. Potter, now a former SEO of Tether and Bitfinex. FYI, he was fired from Morgan Stanley after giving a journalistic interview without respecting the company's code of conduct. Now, let's discuss the founding of Tether. It was back in 2014. Brock Pierce, Craig Sellers and Reeve Collins developed a stablecoin project called Realcoin. At some point during that summer, the property was purchased by Bitfinex executives. On September the 5th, 2014, Phil Potter, Bitfinex's chief strategy officer at the time, and Giancarlo De Fassini founded Tether Holdings Limited. Shortly after, the first Tether tokens were printed on October the 6th, 2014. So below is the transaction ID if you want to see it for yourself. Both companies then shared the same executive team, although all members actively covered this up. Then Paulino Ardoino joined Tether / Bitfinex team in 2015. He was senior full stack developer for the Frame AM internal financial platform. Later joined now by General Counsel Stuart Hoegner, who was the Chief Compliance Officer for the parent company Ultimate Bet. This is an online company, an online poker company, I should say, rocked by a gambling cheating scandal, although Hoegner quickly left the company once this was exposed. It's a small team of founders with 37 employees, has the largest ownership to employee ratio of any company in the world, with around $2 billion in assets per employee. All this was initially exposed by the anonymous researcher Bitfinexed, who revealed in an interview with CoffeeZilla that he initially noticed something was wrong in March 2017. This is during a lawsuit between Tether and Wells Fargo, but you can see all about this in the complaints he made on his YouTube channel, and I'll put a link there. Just so you know, this is the current management team. The centralization of Tether on Bitfinex. Bitfinex is a cryptocurrency exchange just like Binance or Coinbase, and was the main exchange that used Tether before it was its popularity exploded. In May 2015, Bitfinex was hacked. Their hot wallet with 1,500 Bitcoin was depleted. However, they were able to cover it with corporate funds. The broader ecosystem still believed strongly in Bitfinex's positioning, and this attack didn't seem to have affected it too badly. However, things got significantly more complicated in June 2016 when Bitfinex settled with the Commodities and Futures Trading Commission and paid a $75,000 fine for offering illegal retail financed off-market transactions in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Part of the core problem in this case is that the Bitcoin in the futures were not physically delivered, and to solve this problem, Bitfinex sought out the services of BitGo, securing their platform with multi-signature wallet provider. This allowed for the segregation in the balance of each user to physically deliver the Bitcoin. Shortly after this new infrastructure implementation, Bitfinex was hacked again. In August 2016, nearly 120,000 Bitcoin were stolen from the Bitfinex wallet. This makes it one of the biggest hacks in history. In response, Bitfinex applied a 30.67% haircut to all of its clients receiving a BFX token. Those who received BFX tokens had two potential options: wait for Bitfinex to pay them out or convert them into Bitfinex shares. Many seem to have chosen to convert them into stocks, and thus they become enthusiastic supporters of Bitfinex. The rest seem to just cash out their tokens when they could in March 2017. New details emerge about Bitfinex's history amid hacking probe. In the 2017 Paradise Papers leak, it was revealed that Tether and Bitfinex were not only working together, but were in fact owned by the same people. Most prominently, Phil Potter and Giancarlo Defacini, if I get that right one time, because this stablecoin is controlled by the same company that runs a massive crypto exchange. It essentially means centralization without any scrutiny or intervention from a third party. Bitfinex had problems with its financial model. They were getting too big to remain without financial services, and they desperately needed a real institution to operate with. They decided to carry out banking operations with Crypto Capital, an offshore Panamanian bank that dealt exclusively in cryptocurrencies and turned out to have some ties with some of the biggest players in the international drug cartels. In March 2019, Tether and Bitfinex would enter into an extraordinary agreement in which Tether would extend a revolving credit facility to Bitfinex of up to $900 million at 6.5%. The loan was secured with shares in iFinex Inc. and was signed by the same people for both companies. Finally, in April 2019, when the New York Attorney General learned about this strange loan agreement, he requested an order against Bitfinex and Tether to prevent these types of transactions. Subsequently, in another irregular situation, after 2 years of investigation, the New York State Attorney General determined in February 21 that Bitfinex and Tether misled customers and the market by overvaluing reserves, hiding approximately $850 million in worldwide trading losses, with Attorney General Letitia James stating, Bitfinex and Tether recklessly and unlawfully covered up massive financial losses to keep their scheme going and protect their bottom lines. As a settlement, they were fined $18.5 million and barred from practicing in New York. As Protos reported in August 21, market makers Alameda Research, spearheaded by crypto billionaire Sam Bankman-Fried, and Cumberland Global, a subsidiary of trading giant DRW, are still the biggest fish in the Tether markets. Diffuse transparency. Tether has remained completely murky about how they peg the value of their purported stablecoin to their main asset, the US dollar. For Tether to work, they need a 1-to-1 ratio of Tether to dollars at all times. If more Tethers are minted without the exact same number of real dollars in their reserves and there was low demand, they would instantly destroy the stability of their currency. Historically, They have always claimed that Tether is backed one-to-one by real dollars, but have recently muddied the waters on this position by adding a host of new assets that they claim keep the coin backed by dollars. Take a look at this pie chart and we can see that Tether is far from holding a one-to-one in real dollars. Of the 75% portion of the pie chart labelled cash and cash equivalents, only 3.87% are actual dollars, which equates to a total of around 3% actual cash. Tether's legitimacy lies in its reserves. The company claims that until 2018 its reserves were subject to frequent professional audits. This is unverifiable, as not a single independent audit of Tether's reserves had been published until 2020, and even that was conducted by an internationally unrecognised agency located in the Cayman Islands. The last audit publication you see here corresponds to the Consolidated Reserves Report in September 2021 of Tether Holdings Limited. The report of this latest audit on their reserves is somewhat better, according to what they detail, but still only 5% of their reserve is actual cash. During a Twitter space about a month ago discussing stablecoins and recent cryptocurrency volatility, Tether CTO Paolo Ardoino said they had halved the amount of commercial paper backing their stablecoins. So, will Tether have audits coming soon? Audits are necessary to build trust in those who invest in something, be it a company or a product. So although Tether Inc. had not published audits since its inception until 2020, it has announced that it will do so regularly. Recently, Stuart Hoegner, the company's general counsel, said in an interview with CNBC that an audit was in the works and will come in months, not years. So I'm sure that's put your mind at rest. Case closed. Final words. The popularity of USDT as an intermediary currency between fiat money and cryptocurrencies makes more sense in trading, although not necessarily for a hodl, since although you're buying with fiat money, whether via P2P or through an exchange, it makes no sense to use Tether. It's not difficult to conclude that there are too many facts that show the obscurity of the Tether stablecoin, and now you know. The collapse of USDT, that is the loss of parity with the dollar, which is obviously its main function, could cause a huge network effect, since in addition to being the main trading instrument in the crypto market, it has its protocol running on different blockchains, as we explained at the beginning. Currently, Cardano on its Milka Media sidechain supports USDT as a wrapped token through two bridges, Seller and Nomad, with Ring Riders being the first DEX to use USDT, bringing it to the Cardano ecosystem. Could a Tether crash directly impact Cardano due to its interoperability? Who knows? Let's just hope JED takes over as the main stablecoin so we can all rest at ease. We hope this article helps you to understand the cryptocurrency ecosystem a little better, in which there are large utility projects, but bankers and charlatans will always appear to create their dodgy businesses, showering the entire crypto industry with doubt, giving regulators an argument to impose more rules, undermining free trade on the blockchain. So always do your own research before you end up in a Terra Luna situation. So that brings us to the end of today's episode. So do remember, the full article can be found online on the AdaPulse website, along with all the other articles that we don't have the chance to make videos for. And do remember to click the like button, hit subscribe, and get that bell notification to get notified as soon as we have content available. And do remember, you can further support us by delegating your ADA to either Swag, Zod, or myself, ATM. So that's it for today, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us. Bye bye.